Hello everyone, good day. Here's me bringing you another video from Immigration Consulting. My name is Sridhar and I'm an RCIC, a registered Canadian immigration consultant. And in this video today, we are going to discuss Form IMM1294, an application for a study permit made outside of Canada. So this video is going to be split in 5 parts because this is a 5-page form and I do wish to do each, explain each page properly. So I'm going to take my time and explain them and do this in 5 parts. Over the next 5 days, you will see every page be getting added to the video list. So here's starting page 1. This is once again IMM1294e, and this is used by people who are applying from outside of Canada for a study permit. Now, the first thing that the form asks you for is the UCI. Whether you have an UCI or not, this is again a question I get asked often. I have made a video on this. If you go to the playlist, you'll see my video on what is a UCI and whether you would have one or not. But long story short, if you have ever applied for a visa in the past, any other type of visa in the past, you would have a UCI. Okay, what I want service in, there are two options, English and French. What do you do with the validate button? What is clear form? Clear form, obviously, if you have entered some information and you want to erase everything from it, you just click clear form. Validate, we will validate this form only after we finish all the 5 pages. Once we are entirely done with the form, we can validate the form. Okay, so what do you want service in, English or French? I'm assuming, since I'm doing this video in English, I'm talking to people who are more comfortable talking and filling out forms in English. So I would be choosing English if I were you. If that's the primary language. Now, personal details, full name, they want the first thing. That's split into 2 parts, family name and given name. This has to be exactly as per the passport. I'm going to attach another video. If you look up, you will see a link to one of the videos where I've explained this nicely, whether how you should be writing your name into this form. It should be exactly how it is written in your passport. For example, there are some people who have both the first name and the surname, or the given name and the surname given in their passport. You have to write it accordingly. In India, the situation is that you normally put your father's name gets added to your passport, the first name on your passport. In that case, that also comes here. If there are cases where the entire name is only given in the given name column, so you have to write it accordingly. So you have to write it in the family name column completely. So there is a video that I have made on this, so please use that video as a reference and then you can enter. The next question, have you used any other name, nickname, maiden name, alias? If it's just something that people within your household call you, obviously there's no need to add that. But if you've been using that extensively outside, suppose social media has that name all over, 2-3 accounts have it. You have been married and before marriage you had either your last name different or your first name and last name different. Whatever is the situation, you have to mention it. Is it a big deal? As long as you mention it, as long as you answer this question truthfully, it's not a big deal. Nothing happens. If you don't answer it truthfully, and if they, during the background check, they get to know something about you, then you might be asked uncomfortable questions as to why it wasn't revealed and things like that. But the best thing is to just add that to the form and go ahead with the process. Your gender, you can choose whatever gender. Date of birth, exactly as it is given. First comes the year, then the month, then the date. City, town, place of birth, right? Generally, I have seen people writing, let's say you were born in Mumbai, and I've seen people write only Mumbai and leave it at that. Of course, they have asked only for city, town, but my way of doing it is I would write it exactly how it is written in your passport. Generally, in India, I have seen that your city, town, village, whatever it is followed by the state. So Mumbai, comma Maharashtra. So I would write the entire thing here. Okay, then you choose your country. Citizenship, obviously, whichever country you're a citizen of. If you're a citizen of India, then India. If you're a citizen of South Africa, then South Africa, so on and so forth. Now, current territory of current country or territory of residence, very easy. If you're an Indian and you're currently in India, then you choose India and you choose citizen, right? If you're an Indian currently in the United States, working there or studying there, whatever is your situation, you would have to choose. So if you're an H-1B worker from US applying for a program in Canada, then you would choose worker, and that's how. And then in that case, you get from and to. So you have a start date and an end date that you have to enter. But if you write a citizen, for example, there is no start date and end date. It grays itself out. So it means that you don't have to enter any other information. If you are an Indian living in India, then there is nothing more to do to it. Now, previous countries and territories of residence. During the past 5 years, have you lived in any other country than the country of your citizenship for more than 6 months? So you have to look back at your life. So we are, let's say, in January 2022. So you have to go all the way to January 2017 and look at your passport and ask yourself this question: have I lived in any country for more than 6 months during this period? If the answer is yes, that answer comes here. Exactly, again, let's say you have lived in the United States for, let's say, 8 months as a H-1B worker. So then the start and the end date will come, right? Or you have lived as a student and you're going for a second course to Canada now. So then you student from and to, right? A lot of things happened during COVID, and if you got stuck in a country for more than 6 months, you applied for an extension. So you start the from. You can put a visitor, and you're on humanitarian grounds. Many of the countries did allow people to continue staying in that country beyond that 6 months or whatever the valid period was. So you have to put from to, and in your letter of explanation, be sure to let the officer know what happened. You were allowed 6 months, you were allowed 1 month, but you stayed for 8 months and you applied for the extension and it got approved. Whatever is the situation, be sure to explain the same. Country and or territory when applying, same as the country or territory of residence. What does this mean? Suppose you are applying from India and you are in India right now, right? So in that case, and you're applying into the India office, generally it is India office, it goes to the India office, that's the assumption. So you say yes. I generally put, if somebody is applying from India and they're currently in India, I generally say yes, and that solves the problem, right? Question 10, your marital status. Are you single? Are you separated? Separated is different from divorced. If you are divorced, then you would have to, um, you know, give the decree, the judgment that was made in your case. If it's separated, you have to give an extensive letter of explanation and give more proof to prove that you are separated. These are very, very important documents which you should not miss if your case demands it. If you're single, there's nothing to add. If you're widowed, a death certificate of your spouse will surely help. Um, if it's an annulled marriage, again, a legal document to show that the marriage was annulled is a very important bit. So let's say you clicked married, then the date does not gray out, right? So obviously you have to tell the date when you got married, and please please ensure that you provide the spouse's name as it is given in the spouse's passport, so that when the spouse applies tomorrow for his or her student spousal open work permit or any other visa type into Canada, they do not get into any kind of trouble. So let's say the spouse's father's name is there in the first name, column of their passport, ensure that that gets entered and the family name gets entered as is. Exactly how it worked for you, it has to work for your spouse. So I'm going to end part one uh, right here, and tomorrow I'll bring you part two. Good day.